Welcome to another episode of the RockFit Files. And remember, this season, we're going to be talking to a whole bunch of contributing authors to the book that was released recently called The Successful Body. And this week, we're going to be chatting with Jeannie Ruiz. And Jeannie is in the heart of Manhattan. And she is a motivational coach. She's a fitness trainer. She's also a sous chef by day, but she's looking to help change people's lives for the better, one little change at a time. She has challenges that are 21 days on a regular basis that start at the beginning of the month and allow you a little bit of downtime near the end of the month to gear up for yet another monthly challenge. So we're going to go right into the conversation that I began with her, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, before we do, though, I guess I should say that if you want a copy of The Successful Body, be sure to follow us on Instagram. That's Rocky_Snyder at Instagram. And if you become one of our followers this week while listening to the episode, well, we're going to choose one name out of the hat, send you a copy of The Successful Body. So now on to the podcast. Definitely. So you are a personal trainer, but I also motivational coach. Mm-hmm. And are there other kind of hats in which you describe or you wear that you describe yourself as?
I fall into many hats. Okay, so I'm a motivational coach, but I do a lot of 21-day resets with everyone. So I think that we go into programs like me. I've always struggled with weight. So I know that once, like you say, okay, I'm going to lose weight I'm going to get on this diet for 3 months, right? But you're setting a stop date, but you're not looking to behind that wall that you created. Like by the 21st, I should be this weight. But then what happens on the 22nd? So to me, I feel that people crash. So in anything, like my daughter in high school, when her goal was to make it to the best high school. And when she finished the best high school, she almost felt a little lost. So I feel like in everything, it's the same way. When you set a goal, and then you don't see beyond that goal, you're going to crash because you're going to make it to your goal. But then what? It's like you're lost. Like, okay, I made it here. Now what do I do? So I do a lot of 21-day resets that you always start on the 1st and end on the 21st, just because also with keeping dates and times, everyone's always like, oh, I lost track. So like right now, I'm going to start May 1st to the 21st, another reset. I just finished one, which was just like being aware of your body. So it's little things, random things that people might need. Through those 21 days, I do live. So I'll be live for 21 days at 6:00 in the night, just to see if anyone has questions or ideas. And through that live, I do motivational speaking. Also, I don't know, I say everyone on this earth has a purpose for something. And some of us have to endure certain like beating up through the journey so that we can see how strong and resilient we are. And then that's our gift. If we came out on top of everything, we are supposed to help heal others. That is our job. So this is how I see it. I speak openly about my life. I was in an abusive relationship for 20 years. It was a mental abuse, which to me, I believe is worse because they get into your head and you no longer believe in yourself. You live in fear, and no one came to save me. I needed to save myself. How everybody's like, I'm looking for motivation. And I'm always telling everyone, motivation is not going to come knock on your door. And neither is a savior. Like you have to get up, and I pray, I meditate, but you need to put the work in. You can't wait for these things to come and just miraculously happen. You have to step forward and make them happen, and the blessings will fall in place. So I remember the day that my brain was like, this is enough. I was standing in front of the mirror, and I always have conversations with myself when I'm in a rut, because who better to speak to than myself? I stand in front of the mirror and I was like, Jeannie, this is it. You don't deserve this life. And, I would always say, I need to be taken out of this situation. And, it was like, I knew I wasn't going to come out of the situation because I have children. My children are big now, but in that time they were little. I grew up with mom and dad, and I wanted to do the same thing, even though I knew it was completely sour. And I wanted to keep that together. And sometimes gifts come in weird ways. And he kind of left me. And I suffered for 2 weeks. And then I heard a voice inside of me said, was this not what you wanted? Like you're free right now, And I tell you, Rocky, that day I took it and I ran with it. I put it under my arm and I said, you know what? Let me survive. It's time for me to fight. And sure enough, I'm 47 years old. I feel amazing. I have struggles like everyone else, I don't think we ever live our best life because we're supposed to continue to evolve, like we should never settle for this is my best life, which I hear a lot of people say, I'm living the best life. I'm like, no, you could gain so much more. So my goal is to help anyone that wants to give me an ear. And I want to tell them, anything that you want, you can obtain. It's all in here. You need to program your thinking. You want healing, you can heal yourself. Some people are like, oh, but I need medication. I'm like, yeah, but you could work with the doctor, because I don't have anything against doctors. But if the doctor tells you you're diabetic, there's things you can do to lower that dose or just eliminate it completely. Like it's in your hands, like what are you gonna do? So I do a lot of advising on that. Today on Instagram, I did a short workout. I posted it. I'm not like, I'm not like a guru. I'm not perfect. I need people to understand that I have a job. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every day to go to work, and it's like, I live a normal life like everyone else, but I'm trying to live my healthiest every day. And every day I want to be a better person than I was yesterday. And
I find that, and I think you'll answer this the way I'm imagining. But do you find that it takes one of two elements to elicit a change in someone, either inspiration or desperation?
um,
Do you think that
I,
you get that one or the other, or is there
I
something
believe
else?
it's, I believe it's both. Desperation is amazing because desperation makes you hungry. And like when you're hungry for something, you do whatever it takes to obtain that, And like me, my goal would be to reach thousands of people, right? With whatever message I can give you today on Instagram. Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's on Twitter, wherever, one message. But if it's one person that might be feeling desperate at that moment and goes and finds something that I have given them, even if it's one word, they might latch on to that word. Like I've latched on to many public speakers, and that one word will resonate in your head. And because of what I'm feeling inside, can it be agony? Can it be depression, feeling down, feeling like that's it, you've hit rock bottom and you can't get back up. And then all of a sudden you hear one person say one thing of the hunger. I tell you because I speak of experience. I remember feeling overwhelmed, feeling like I was never going to get out of the situation that I was going to be in, that was it. That was my life. That's what I was destined to be in. And I was never going to be happy. And I just need to suck it up. And that was it. And, but I remember inside, like the inner voice inside of me kept saying, no, you can't accept this. Like you are smart, you're like lovable, like you want this, like you've never hurt people, like why are you going to settle for this? So that's the desperation in me that was looking for it, that I wanted to grasp onto something. It didn't matter what it was, but I needed to hold on to someone's word or something. And I had to keep playing it in my mind, almost like, you see, brainwashing is a word that people use, and the second you hear brainwash, you think of something negative, right? Brainwash, like, oh, these cults and everything. But
Mhm.
brainwash is also something good. Like I've brainwashed myself to thinking that, I'm an amazing person, that I am lovable, that I am enough, that I deserve a better life, that, that if there's something I don't know, I can learn it, And yeah, it takes both things. It takes also the mental state. Like, do you want to learn this? So how much are you going to put into it? Like physical activity, you're a coach. I'm sure you've had clients that they want something and they'll come to you and saying, Rocky, this is what I want. This is what I want to look like, or this is what I want to be able to do. But then when you give them the recipe or the prescription, you could see in them that they start doubting themselves, and they start, not taking into consideration your words, of knowledge, because you are knowledgeable in your field. So they'll slack off, and you see that struggle within them. Like, am I good enough? Am I going to be able to do what Rocky's asking me? Am I going to, this is not realistic. So it's a mental struggle. So I think it comes both. It comes both from hunger and then from the mind. It's like both things are kind of tugging. It's up to you just to decide. And both of them work together.
Now, it sounds like you use fitness as a tool to help change lives, to motivate others, but it's only one of the tools in which you use, from the sounds of it. Like the challenges, the 21-day challenges you speak of, what are some examples of those challenges?
Okay, so the first challenge that I've done challenges all the time, but the first one that I actually did live was in March. And that one was for everyone that was following me, just to try to, at one point I was following strict keto, which was fabulous. And then I did carnivore for a little while, which was also great. And then, sometimes that can't be realistic for long term, because I have kids, we go out, we socialize, and it could be a little hard, but I always teach people you should have a relationship with food. Like, templates, they work, like for you to get something started, like, okay, this is making me feel good. How can I fit it into my lifestyle? But I don't feel like you should be following these things for long term. Like, we should be able to eat regular food, but I think it's all in the mind. It's a relationship with food, like, are you eating in front of the TV? Are you, so it's all of these things. So on my first challenge, that's what it was. It was building a relationship with food. So it was things like, chew slowly, pay attention, don't eat in front of the TV, like little things like that, drink more water, just so that people could become more aware. The response to that was amazing. People were messaging me questions, and, I loved it. The second one was more about just moving, like go out every day for 20, like be grateful. So it was just to be aware of, like, for 21 days, your goal. And then now in May, I want to do back to fitness, just because I think that a lot of the illnesses, like, I speak to people at my coworkers, and they're always complaining about aches and pains. And I'm always telling them, because you're not moving, like squat and just hold the squat, or, like just function, like, because I'm a sous chef, so in the daytime. So we're standing, which is just as bad as sitting all day. So we're literally standing for hours. I start at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm just standing. So every now and then, yeah, I'll take a break and they see me, like, go and try to, stretch out my hamstrings, or because it's the same thing. Like, you're sitting all day, it works the same way with standing, so it's
Yeah.
just, yeah, so that's my goal now for this 21 days. Is just
Well, I like that your challenges are not overwhelming and monumental. They're not grandiose. You have them that they're small steps that are achievable and attainable,
yeah,
and you build on these small steps of success.
yeah.
Compared to, a lot of times people will have these intentions of changing things, and they pick something that is really not that achievable, or deep down inside they feel like they're not 100% confident that they could actually get there. So uh, feeding this reinforcement of positive results, positive behavior over a series of 21 days is wonderful. And I imagine, just for anybody that's looking to change, it requires energy and effort. So 21 days can be exhausting. That's why I'm sensing that the 9 or 10 days of vacation time, so to speak, after the 21 days is essential for success as well. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. 21 days is hard for whoever's listening to me, but for me also, because I got to bring up content at 6 o'clock every day. And sometimes I get home from work and I'm exhausted, but I still show up for them, And like, I do different things. Like, some people say, oh, have you tried this product? And I'll actually go out my way and get the product, whether it's like, as long as it's healthy, yeah, I'll go and try it, and I'll come back to them and I say, okay, I tried it, it's doable. I think that everything in life. Like I said earlier, I struggle with weight. I used to weigh 220 pounds. I was really big, and then this is maybe like the smallest that I've been. I'm not like a supermodel, and I'm okay with that. And I want people to understand, be okay with who you are, but work at being better, but don't become obsessive, because I think with social media right now, you see all these people that look amazing and wonderful, and it can become overwhelming for a young person, the same way as for someone my age. It's like, wait, like I'm 47 and I don't want to fall apart. So I want people to understand that even if you incorporate a small habit, whether it's the smallest of habit, every day work on that habit, and then when you notice that you do it without even noticing, move on to another habit, and eventually you will be your personal best. Doesn't mean that people are going to agree with what you look like, but that doesn't matter. There was a time when I was younger, I was obsessed with working out. I was thin when I was young, but I worked in a gym, and I was like, I needed to look like everybody else, and I needed to have a specific looks to get clients. And I think that eventually I crashed like everything else. It's like I kept this perfect image, and then all of a sudden life hit me hard. And food was my drug. Food was my go-to drug. I was addicted to food, and that's another thing. People don't think that. They think addiction is only medication and drugs, but it's not. Anything that we are hurting ourselves, causing pain, inflicting this, because that just made me more depressed. And I was inflicting it, even though I thought I was soothing it. I was inflicting, because the bigger I got, the unhappier I was, and I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna work out every day. I try to do my exercise, whether it's 4 workouts, 1 workout, whatever. Even if it's one movement, I try to do it, 5 rounds of whatever, but just do something. And that's what I'm always telling everyone. Don't be like, oh, I'm too tired to work out. If you can get up and go for a walk, go for a walk. If you have a set of stairs, go up and down the stairs for 20 rounds or 10 or 5, but do something every day till you create that habit of, you know what, okay, it's 5 o'clock. I need to do something, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's, you're not going to be an athlete. You're not training for a triathlon. You're trying to just be healthy, that tomorrow, your body won't give in as fast or whatever. Or you'll, something will click in your head, like, let me not eat this portion. Let me make a healthier choice. Let me have a salad, or let me have a healthier protein today, because yesterday I did horrible. Instead of beating yourself up for weeks and days, get over it. Like, if I eat something, if I have a piece of cake right now, all right, that time is gone. What am I going to do right now? I had the piece of cake, so let me just stay hydrated. And if I get hungry later, let me pick something lighter. The cake was good. Acknowledge that the cake was good. Embrace it. Be like, I enjoyed the cake, because we've created food a monster also. It's like, oh my God, I ate a cake, so now let me mess up for the next 2 weeks. It's like, we need to create a balance. And I think we need to stop being so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, it's similar to what we do in our studio, where we, with people that are coming in that are just starting with us, we hand them this sheet of 26 items, and we call it small lifestyle changes. And what we want people to do is basically go through all 26 items on the list, some of which that you've already said, such as slow down in eating, chew your food so many bites, or chew so many times before swallowing, have a glass of water with every meal, put down your fork in between bites, things that slow people down, read something for 5 minutes a day. And there's 26 items, and we encourage people to list them. First, cross off the ones that are already a part of your regular daily program, your lifestyle, and give yourself a pat on the back, because that's one step closer to doing better and living a healthier existence. And then the ones that are remaining, I want you to list them in order of easiest ones to achieve versus the most demanding. And we're going to look at that order. We're going to start with 1, and every other week, for 2 weeks at a time, you're just going to focus on one thing. And you have to feel 100% confident you're going to achieve that. And the next 2 weeks, you're going to do this one until a year goes by and everything on that list has been achieved. And it's amazing the process that occurs here, because they get more confident and not only in what they're achieving there, but in their life itself. And you begin to see them explore outside the confines of their mental world, what has trapped them into their existence of thinking, this is how my life has to be. Suddenly, you've given them an experience that, wow, I never knew I could do that. What else can I achieve? And then before you know it, they're taking horseback riding lessons, or they're doing sailing adventures, or they're going to travel across the Appalachian Trail. Whatever the case is, it's amazing with these little nuggets of success what it breeds. So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, those are I love that. I love that they can cross off the things that they've accomplished and then work on the things that maybe they see as undoable. Because that's how I was when I was free. I ran 3 Spartan races. I did all of the Spartan races. I did every Tough Mudder that was in my reach. I did, which my favorite was Bone Frog. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. Bone Frog is actually a military race. And
Uh-huh.
I did that. And like, I wanted to get into all the races cause I was feeling healthier. And I did it by doing these small things, and not being so hard on myself. And the weight started, people would see me and that I wasn't even trying. I think it was the happiness that I was feeling also. It relieved the stress and the depression because, okay, I know some people might need medicine because they're depressed. But I feel that they also have to look for something that makes them happy and keeps them busy, And I think I was depressed. The doctor wanted to put me on Zoloft, and I was on that maybe for like a week. And I told him, I feel like I'm in a tube, like I can't focus, And I got off of it. And like I would hear him always saying, oh, but you're depressed, like you can't get off of it. And I was like, no, I just need to kind of change my life. I knew that inside of me, but I can't speak for everyone else. Everyone is not like me. Maybe I had a guide, that was guiding me spiritually or whatever, and was saying, you know what, you need just fight, fight, fight for those that maybe they don't see that they can accomplish these things. But definitely, as people start accomplishing these little tiny, I call them stepping stones, like each step is going to take you to the next one and the next one and the next one. And when you approach it, yeah, it's scary. Like I'm scared of doing box jumps. I'm not going to lie to you. I can do a deadlift, I can do a snatch, I could do all of that. But when it comes to box jumps, I have a fear of hurting my chins. And it's just, something as simple as that. But I got to work my way to it. And it's like you stand up and what is it? Like some people say, come before your demons, like face your demons, and stuff like that. And once someone knows that they can accomplish one step, it makes them excited. And that's why they'll go and do the rafting and they'll go horseback riding because they're like that veil is taken off of them, and they're like, wait a minute, I can do this. Like when I was 40, when I started doing these races, and like I remember my mom was like, Jeannie, what are you doing? Like you're crazy. Like I did the beast. That was like, I think that was 14 miles and I did it in Mount Vernon, which was really scary because night fell and we were still on the top of the mountain, but I did it. And when I came down, I had a struggle with jumping over the fire. I'm not going to lie. So it took me a little encouraging to do, but I jumped over the fire. And once I jumped over it, I'm not going to lie to you, Rocky. I felt that as I was going through each mile, I was leaving behind an old me. And I cried a few miles. I cried, like I would stop and I would get emotional and I would cry because I was like, never in a million years did I think that I was going to do these crazy things at my age, never in a million years. And to me, it wasn't only for me, but it was for my kids. My kids, I needed them to see that whatever they wanted, they can accomplish. And my kids, they're big. One is 28, 22, and 18. And still today, I live in a way that I want to be an example for them and their friends. And, that age is just a number, first of all, and that we can do absolutely anything we want. but we have to do those small steps. Like, don't dive right in because you might crash, you might, like, take your time and analyze and learn and let your body get used to things. And with eating, with everything, like I said, I struggle with food. I love sweets, I love cheesecake. I love, but I pay attention, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say, well, I am going to say, people always have the misconception that you can work out for 2 hours and eat whatever you want. That is wrong. That is wrong. You want to lose weight, change the way you eat. 100%. The workout is the healing process of getting your bone. Like, to me, your bones shift, as we age. Our bones move from place, we bang here, like they shift, So the fitness comes in as a care, like you need to care for your body. So I need to strengthen my muscle because it's holding my bones, and I need to keep my joints, supple and all this. But if you are not eating correctly, you're going to crash. Whether you're an athlete, your joints are going to hurt. You're not going to be at your optimal best. And I always tell people, okay, you might be skinny and you're eating horrible, but that's going to catch up to you. Like, change the way you eat and incorporate fitness, and you're going to be an amazing person. Not only your body, because I feel that fitness heals the brain 100%. It takes away depression. It really does. Fitness takes, and I wish the doctors would encourage the patients to do this. Me and my doctor don't see eye to eye a lot because he's a medical doctor, and I want to heal my body through my thinking,
Mm-hmm.
But it's like fitness is 100% medicine, 100%.
Well, I'm curious too. The one kind of maybe weak link in a chain when it comes to challenges is that the mindset of participants may be, I'm going to do this for 21 days and then forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do this, and then at the end of it, I've achieved it. Now I can go back to the way it was. So how is it that you, as a motivational coach, suppress that or squash that? How do you do it in such a way where you're telling these people 21 days after we're done here doesn't mean you go back to what you were doing?
No. Well, I do the 21 days and I still do lives. Random. I tell them, pay attention to my lives. I might show up on Instagram. I might show up on Facebook. My lives are always straight. Instagram and Facebook at the same time, 6 o'clock. And then after that, I do calls. I do message them, like, especially the people that kind of stuck around and I saw they commented the most. I'll send them a hello, how are you? Just checking to see how you're going. And I'll still try to keep in touch with them, and is there anything I can do? This is random, but ironically, I got the bulk of women to follow me was because of my lipstick color, which is really weird. Yeah.
Tell me more. What do you mean?
I'm not even lying to you. Like, a lot of women got on and they were just like, oh my God, I love your lipstick. So I always wear like a red lipstick. So then purposely I saw that it was kind of catching the attention of a lot of people. So I purposely started wearing a red lipstick to all my lives. And I would tell them where to get it. It's not a lipstick, it's a stain. And it was funny to me that people were messaging me after the 21 days where they can, so I use that as a anchor. So when they messaged me about this lipstick, I would say to them, how are you doing? Are you continuing this? Is there anything I can do? Can I send you a video? And I would do little snip videos, a minute or whatever, send it to a few people. Like, the thing is that is exactly how you said. There's a lot of programs out there. It says, stick with me for 3 months, and then that's it. You lose them. And maybe you invested and paid for these programs, and then there's no one there to guide you when you do crash. And I always tell everyone, you can message me whenever you want. When I do lives on Instagram, I always say to them, if you want to ask me a question, I can kick you on live and you can ask me the question through live on Instagram, because now that's one of the features, and I want to encourage them that I'm here and, I'll be there for them. I'm not a guru. I don't know. All I am selling to them is my story. I don't have a product to sell them. All I can say to them is, this is what I endured, and this is how I've made my journey easier. so you too can make your journey easier, and if they have to they message me, I respond right away. I share books. I love to read. I share books with them, videos. I have a few Facebook groups. I have a keto fit lifestyle group. I have a life is a burpee after 40 group. It's like little things. I'm always like, wherever you can find me, if you can't find me somewhere, just message me wherever you see me at. Ask me your question. I will get right back to you. I send them links of, things that they can do. But yeah, I definitely like to keep them connected somehow, just because I know some people are alone, especially now after the pandemic. That was the majority of people that reached out to me, because I'm not a runner, but every now and then I would go and run and I record myself dying, I call it, because because it's really hard to me. So I would do lives while I'm running, and a lot of people connected through there because they saw that I was struggling, and I think they wanted to do something too. It kind of motivated them. Like, wait, she's running, she hates running, but she's out there trying. Let me go for a walk. Let me go do this. And I've had people message me and say, because of you, I wasn't gonna, like, I did a live on Sunday, and I had to cover in a gym for someone. And I made a quick video while I'm running down 14th Street here. And I made a quick video, whatever it is, get out of your bed, make your bed, do your meditation, be grateful, and walk out the door. And I got so many messages on Sunday saying, because of you, I got dressed, I made my bed, and I walked out the door. So it's like that. It's like, I'm not with you for 21 days, but I'm still here, So
Yeah.
I try.
Good. You said something about story and book, and I would be remiss if we didn't bring up the Successful Body. So you being one of the contributing authors to the Successful Body, share a little bit. I'm sure you've shared quite a bit to some degree of what the content is you wrote about, but what specifically did you write about in your chapter?
Well, it's basically what I'm saying is like your mind controls everything else. And if you want success, you have to start with the way you speak to yourself and you think. Like, we are our worst enemy with our thoughts. Like, our thoughts play a huge role, and like in one of the scenarios I use, like with lifting, I remember going to my coach and he was like, come on, Jeannie, you can lift this. And I remember doubt coming. The second doubt comes into your mind, there's no way you're going to make that lift. No way. It doesn't matter how strong you are. But the second you step back and you kind of do a quick like meditation and you visualize yourself making that lift, you'd be surprised. You're going to make the lift because it's here. We have to visualize who we want to be. I think yesterday on Twitter, I posted that if you want to change your life, you have to see who you want to be. You can't keep saying, I want to be a certain person, but you're not seeing it in your mind, because then you're just going to be running around like, what do I do? You got to have like a clear vision of what you want to be physically, who you want to be, if you want to inspire a person, what type of motivator you want to be, what type of coach. It's all in our thinking, and like thoughts can be good and bad. Like I saw someone and I could see them having an argument in their head. And I was like, you're having a whole argument with someone that is not even present in your head, and they're probably over there calm, like, relax, calm your thoughts, like, relax. They're not here. Like, let it go, and it's like that. So I wrote about that. That's my main thing, is like, habits can lead you to success. Success is what? Success is what you want it to be. Success is what we want it to be. I'm not going to be an expert on anything. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know the day after tomorrow, I'm going to be better than tomorrow, and that's my goal. It's gradual. Like right now, when I get off with you, I hope that you get something from me, because we have to feed off of each other. We have to kind of, I did a meditation before I got on with you, and I said, may we communicate and that I can earn something from him and he can gain something from me. Like, I love that. I love to have dialogues that two people can kind of get something from each and walk away and be like, like, this is what this person said, or this is what, like, it's important. There's no connection anymore. And I feel we need to reconnect as a people.
I agree. I agree. Especially in these days where we're only connected through internet, and
Mhm.
whether that connection's strong enough to keep the connection is another
Yeah.
question. So that makes me wonder about you obviously inspiring others. Therefore, there's this communication and relationship that people, in order to change, often rely on those around them and those that are doing the same thing, meaning having a similar goal in mind. So do you have many people that are doing it together with you as a motivational coach, such as, siblings, husbands and wives, or coworkers, whatever the case may be?
Yeah, coworkers, they try. It's kind of hard for them.
Why
Um,
is that? Why is it hard?
I don't know. I think they usually blame it on their spouse.
Ah,
um, but my husband, he always does. Like if I say I'm gonna do keto for whatever 20 days, strict clean keto, no cheese, no dairy, just clean food. Because also keto has been massacred. You know, like you look at keto online, and that is not the keto that I discovered 8 years ago. So I don't even try to follow those things. Like the keto nowadays is cheese and all these pastries, and
hmm.
that's not what keto is to me. To me, keto is eating clean foods. It's just eating, your meats and your vegetables and healthy fats, avocados. And I always teach people that dairy is great as far as cheese is concerned because it's a zero carb meal, but it still can cause inflammation and bloating. And that can sabotage your progress. So I always encourage when you're doing like 20 days, try to stick to clean foods. If you can kill it and raise it, then you should eat it. It's kind of like the paleo concept. So I go 100% with that. I call it keto because that's what everybody kind of tends to go to, but it's basically paleo with less carbs is what, 26 grams of carbs to 50 grams of carbs. So it's less carbs, but just real food. If you look at your plate, you want to know what's on your plate, like if you can produce it, if you had a farm, if you have like, whatever you had, a garden, if that's what's on your plate, then you know where it's coming from. So I try to tell people for 21 days, that's the type of keto we're going to be doing. I'm not going to be sharing no sweets because also I think that is room for failure because if you give me an Oreo cookie that is a regular Oreo cookie, and then you give me an Oreo cookie that is keto Oreo cookie, my brain doesn't know the difference between the two. They are identical. So how is my brain gonna know? Like all of a sudden I see a keto cookie, Oreo cookie, it's not gonna know it's a regular, I'm gonna crave it because I haven't reprogrammed my thinking. So I
Well,
always,
the interesting thing too is I recently found out in the last couple of years here that there's a process they use to extract cocaine from the coca leaf, and the same with heroin from the opium poppy. And it is more or less the same procedure they use with processing food. So anything that is, like you say, that you can't catch, pick, pluck, or kill, all those other foods that are processed are really processed in the same way that they do very addictive drugs. So it's no question that many foods we can
yeah.
biologically or physically be addicted to, and that's why I've stayed away from a lot of those processed foods, because I can feel my behavior and the conversation I have in my head that
Yeah.
surrounds those things are,
Yeah.
are very similar to other addictive behaviors.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, like when I say keto, I need to make it clear that it's not the keto that you see on Instagram that everyone's getting famous for. It's just eating natural foods, healthy avocados, good coconut, unsweetened coconut and berries. I do a lot of berries. I don't do any supplements. I don't do any medicine, like I try to heal myself with food. There's days I know, like, let me stay away from red meat because I'm feeling a little achy. So let me tend more to some fish or chicken breast or something lighter. So it's like paying attention, being aware of the messages of your body, which I wasn't aware at one point, and that's when my body crashed. So that was the lesson that I learned there. Like everything happens, we have to learn our lesson. You know, but yeah, definitely. My husband does these things with me. When I did the carnivore diet, we were only having steak fresh steak. He's a chef, so we made our steak, you know, as little as possible. Plant-based foods added to that, and a lot of eggs, boiled eggs, and just healthy. And it's fabulous. I can't tell you I'm gonna be on that for my life because it's not realistic, because I live amongst my kids. I can't be like, oh, I'm only gonna have steak, you know? So, but I do pay attention, like, okay, I'm with my kids. I want them to watch what I'm doing, you know, because always someone's watching. There's always someone watching too, especially if you're preaching something, whether it's fitness, health, mindset, someone is watching. I almost say they want you to fail in a way because they want to be like, you see, you're not, you know, kind of thing. So you have to be very careful, especially if you want to be a leader, you know. And I don't want to be a leader as in the sense like, oh, come and everyone follow me. But if I can give you something that can make your body and your life a little bit better, I want to be the example, you know, that I'm giving you, that I'll say, you know, like people know me when I wasn't able to walk, you know, and that lasted for 1.5 years. And I cried every morning, and people remember, you know, I had to call into work. I couldn't come into work because I wasn't functioning. And now they see me, and I want them to see me lifting weights, and I want them to see me moving. And, you know, because they say, wow, I remember, what did you do again? And that's what I want. You know, I want people to say, what was it that you do? What did I do? I just stayed away from everything processed, and I moved. You know, move your body, move each joint. There's a reason why we have joints. Put them to work, you know, like move them in the way they're supposed to, you know. It's like, do your animal flow, follow somebody on YouTube that is doing some good exercise, pay attention to form, technique, 100%, you know. Take your time. Don't worry about the weight. If you're using 2 pounds, but you're moving, use your 2 pounds. Eventually you'll go to 3 and 4 as it gets easier. You know, that's the advice I try to give everyone.
So if people are interested in acquiring a motivational coach and maybe following along with your challenges, how do they do that?
Well, I'm on Instagram. Instagram is the main platform that I'm using right now, but I do use Facebook, and they're both Jeannie Ruiz, very simple. And then I have my website, which someone's actually working on still, and it's Jeannie.com. That's actually my business. And my email is transform@itsjeannie.com. Yeah. And I'm also taking classes for hypnotherapy, just so I can help some people kind of get rid of some of their past memories and start a new life, you know, so I'm doing that too. But yeah, I can be found on anything, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and they're all Jeannie Ruiz everywhere.
Wonderful. Well, I can't believe time has flown by the way it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the Rockfit Files here, and I can't wait to see what path you travel down next. So I hope our paths actually cross sometime in person down the road, and I look forward to that moment.
Thank you so much. It was amazing meeting you. And once again, I want to thank you for what you're teaching there where you're at. You know, it's 100%. It's successful, 100%.
That's it for another episode of the Rockfit Files. Thank you, Jeannie Ruiz, for coming on and joining me. And remember, if you want a copy of The Successful Body, of course, you can go to any major bookseller, or you can get a chance to win a copy by following us on Instagram, Rocky_Snyder. And until next time, have yourself a happy and healthy week.